the only podcast where every week we police the mean streets of the internet because, hey, somebody's got to do it. And then we let you be the judge, the jury, and the executioner in the court of public opinion. Coming to you live from Neo, Chicago, I am Officer Kevin.
I'm fucking miserable.
What's up, Grant?
Hey.
I'd ask, how the hell are you? But I think you just told me
answered that.
Told me as much as I could ever ask to know, and more.
And more. Yeah.
Well, great to have you here, man. And by here, I mean we're once again recording remotely. We're
lockdown mode.
Yeah, we're in lockdown mode. We're hanging in there. We're making it happen, and we're finally here performing for you.
If I know the words, should I join in or?
Yeah, you can join in too. Sure.
All right, cool.
I mean, you can put your hands together if you want to clap.
I don't want to do that.
Okay. I guess I won't take you through this DK rap then.
All right. Well,
let's give a quick thank you.
You kind of already did.
You could say that, sure. Let's give a quick thank you to our guest from last week, Brett Mercer from Big Time Garbage. Thank you, Brett. You know, I gotta be honest, there's like something kind of pathetic about doing this alone in my room at home. Like, it's one thing, even when like me and you were recording with a remote guest, and I've kind of had to get used to this, where it's like I'm sitting in the same chair that I work in and have my therapy appointments in and just generally hang out in. And here I am just sort of like slapping my hands together, clapping and screaming into a mic by myself in my room next to my anime toys.
Well, at least one of your roommates listens to this show. I have two roommates, and they just hear me screaming at the top of my lungs with nobody that I'm talking to, you know, and making weird noises and stuff like that. And it's like, I have to worry about them thinking that I have to be hauled off into, you know, a nice padded room wearing a jacket that lets me hug myself, you know?
Well, consider this. One day they can tell their grandkids that I lived in the room next to where they recorded the podcast Thought Cops.
What an honor.
What a fucking story to tell. Anyway, we got some brand new guests to the Thought Cops family, Thought Cops canon, whatever I feel like calling it today. We got Brian and Jim from Drink a Beer, Play a Game. What's up, boys?
What's going on, guys?
Thanks for having us on.
Thank you very much for having us here, man. This is awesome.
Absolutely.
I wish we could share a real beer with you guys.
I'm drinking a beer right now, and just before recording, I was playing a game as well. So I thought I'd get in the mood tonight, you know?
We thought it was a name that everyone could relate to.
Yeah, it really is.
It really is, yeah.
You guys aren't down any Malort to get yourself through this quarantine, isolation, depression?
Oh, man. I'm fresh out, but that reminds me, I do have to re-up on Malort.
Yeah, I'm 6 days out of the week I'm not drinking, because if I can limit it to 1 day a week, that's better than every day of the week, because, you know, the first couple weeks of this, I was drinking every single day nonstop. You know, I'd wake up, I'd have an Irish coffee, I'd drink until I passed out and went to sleep. So
that's fun.
1 day a week. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's depression.
I mean, it sounds
healthy.
It sounds fun if you're like 17.
Yeah.
But, you know, given the circumstances, I will stop digging myself into a hole. So let's just...
I mean, you know, it is what it is. It's fucked for everyone, you know?
It is. It's, you know... Grant, it's like I've been saying for the past 3 weeks. You know, what is it? I'll let you say it this time.
I really need to piss, but my roommate's in the bathroom. You've been saying that a lot.
But what I really want to say is podcasts to the people.
You're not holding your hand up in like the Black Power fist salute right now, are you? As you're saying that?
I sure am, alone here in my room next to my anime toys. Yes.
We're going to get canceled.
Podcast to the people.
Well, speaking of people, we got a couple people on the show right now. So you guys, Jim and Brian here, Tell us a little bit more about your channel. You've had it for a while, and you do a couple different things on it. One of those things being the Power Hour podcast. But, what else? What other type of content are you creating now that it's the prime time to be creating content online?
I mean, the biggest thing is when we started this shit, it was just about an excuse for Jim and I to get together, drink some beers, and literally play games. We're not geniuses when it comes to names. That's just some shit we wanted to do to get away from our girlfriends or wives and get a few hours a week to do that shit. And then
Who doesn't need that?
I know. So we were like, why don't we review some games? Why don't we review beers with it? And then it spiraled into, we're going to pair games with beers. And then it slowly, like everyone else, we're like, you know what? Why don't we do a podcast, talk to people we talk with on Twitter, get questions from them, and just keep this shit rolling and really just get more excuses to get together. So we're a very non-professional review games, review beers on our main site. But then other than that, Jim runs our Twitter. I do the YouTube, and we just try and post as much content that shit we enjoy and hopefully other people do as well.
Yeah, we actually, every once in a great while, we tried to make it a recurring thing where we would make drinking games out of video games. So I think we have about maybe 15 total in the 7 years we've been doing this. It always turned into a thing where we'd put the most effort into it and we'll get 3 views. So we'd go, we'll come back to this in about 2 years.
Right.
Those are the reasons to get blackout drunk instead of just, a little bit drunk when we get together.
One thing I've noticed about your guys' channel is I feel like there's a lot of video game channels out there that tend to talk about a lot of the same games. But I feel like you guys tend to focus on a lot of really obscure games that nobody's talking about. Was that intentional to reach a different audience, or are those just the things that you're most passionate about?
That's just my fault. Brian would love to talk about things people care about.
Yeah, no, here's the deal. Jim is that type of guy, and I think we all have a friend like this who, when everyone else had Super NES and Sega, he was the kid with the Neo Geo or something else and talked about how great it is. So as he started collecting for goofy shit, he's like, yo, let's keep playing these. And he'll justify every game is amazing because he spent way too much money on it. And then we have to go through these games and play it. But there's also a kind of weird thing where we just we don't want to reiterate what everyone else says about. Everyone knows what the great games are out there. So we're trying to play the shit that nobody played or just play it for ourselves just for the sake of oh fuck, we got nothing else to do. And it's not like we're going to give a unique twist on, Super Mario 3. So we just want to try and hit up the more obscure.
Right. I feel like you guys hit on a lot of things where I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot there were 2 South Park games for the Nintendo 64. I remember playing them as a kid and then watching your guys' videos and being like, yeah, I don't remember these being very good, but I do remember having a good time with my friend who rented these from Blockbuster. And when you guys are reviewing the game, it's bringing me back to this specific memory as a child that a lot of other gaming YouTube channels don't, which I think is cool.
Yeah, I mean, we really wanted to. The idea was when we did a lot of our early reviews, and you want to talk about getting hate, start talking about NES sports games, because God forbid you don't spend 3 years with one game, and we just say, hey, we played this for a couple of hours, here's our rough opinion of this game. You get burned alive online by people because they're like, how dare you not go through the entire season with every team on the fucking roster? And it would just spiral into a shitstorm. But
because the purpose is,
we're sitting down, we literally are getting drunk while we're playing these games, and then we write our opinions about it and do our videos.
Yeah, I was watching a video you guys did with the top, I think it was the top baseball games on the NES.
Oh God. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, was that the one you got in trouble for?
We get in trouble for all of them. The baseball one, everyone fucking hates the fact that we don't say Baseball Stars is number one. That is the number one comment we get about that particular video. But it's like that, the basketball video, the Simpsons, Jim really fucked up because he didn't want to play the one game too much. But yeah, all top videos, man, that's an easy way to get people to get really pissed at you.
Yeah, I was about to ask, are those some of your more popular ones? Because I feel like there's always that effect of when you piss the right people off in the right way that like your numbers for things can sort of skyrocket because people, as opposed to watching things to enjoy it and to learn something from it, they watch it just because they fucking hate you. And, do you see like giant spikes in numbers for the episodes where it's, more controversial when you put out those opinions and stuff like that?
Well, definitely for the top list, like those are the basketball one, the baseball one, the Simpsons ones. Those are in our like top 5 videos on our page in general. So I guess like, I don't know if it's word of mouth of people going, oh, they didn't put Simpsons Hit and Run at number 1 and they like sent it to their friends and get pissed off about, which fine by me. I'll bring on the views however we can get them. But
right.
Yeah, I guess unless you like go against the status quo a little bit, it'll get some eyes on it. So we'll take it where we can.
Yeah, Grant, to what you were saying, though, on top of that, when we did the Mortal Kombat games, we literally played every single main game in the series. And I was like, well, let's do a top 10 list for all the various shit. Every time, like when 10 came out, when 11 came out, like I guess it hits an algorithm and people watch our top 10s and they get furious. Like we did top 10 worst fighters. Oh, my God. We insulted apparently so many people because we said like Tanya and some of these more boring characters were on that list. They're like, how dare you not say da 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 da?
My waifu.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
There's a lot of Stryker fans apparently that we did not know about.
Yeah, I feel like for that kind of content, the best way to get popular is by just having the wrong quote unquote opinion. Like I remember, I think it was Kotaku put an article out with they were ranking all the mainline Super Mario games.
Oh boy.
And their number 1 game at the very top of that list was New Super Mario Brothers U. For the Wii U.
Ooh, spicy.
And I saw it shared around Twitter like every day for 2 weeks from like everybody I followed who was just like, this is horrible. How dare they say this? What the fuck is wrong with them? And it's
my
just
childhood.
Like, I mean, yes, they're wrong, but like, we're all talking about it. So.
Do you think that was like a payola thing that Nintendo paid them to be like, hey, you should push this game so that people like it?
It's possible.
See, that's what we need to do with Thought Cops. We need to find like the not just any person, but like the right person to piss us off or to get pissed off, enough that to catapult us into stardom.
I mean, on our tier ranking stream, we did originally place Arby's at S tier because their sandwiches look like how did Nico put it, as mutated beet pussy, I believe was the term she used. That got a double ass from both Grant and I.
As it should.
Yeah, speaking of Twitch, though, we've been streaming a lot on Twitch recently. I know that I've mentioned this the last several episodes, but with the quarantine and everything, we're trying to put out more like intimate, fun content for people to consume while they're, while they got some downtime at home. And like I said, one of those things we've been doing for fun recently is tier ranking streams. So there's a website it's got like S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, and there's all kinds of categories you can rank stuff by. So we were ranking, we made our own mainline Super Mario rankings. We ranked fast food restaurants. We ranked breakfast cereals. All kinds of fun things. Nickelodeon cartoons.
Got very heated and angry at each other.
Yeah, it got pretty intense there for a second. So, yeah, give us a follow on Twitch, twitch.tv/ThoughtCops. And if you have Amazon Prime attached to your Twitch account or Twitch Prime or whatever, give us a subscribe too, because it financially helps us out. And times like these, we would greatly appreciate it. If you got the Grant, what'd you call it? Cashola? Payola?
I said payola, but yeah.
Yeah, if you got the payola to spend, you could do worse.
And I definitely know the feeling you guys are talking about with the isolation and dealing with roommates and doing content earlier. Because, like, my wife was upstairs as I was recording some stuff the other day. And I come up to, get a drink of water. And she just looks at me and she goes, man, you suck. How many times did you do that one line? I'm like, oh, well, I'm just going to go downstairs and kill myself now.
Wow. Yeah. Your wife is a harsh critic.
Yeah, she keeps me on my toes, I'll say the least there. She sees right through my bullshit.
Someone has
She's
to.
being nice to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian has to edit me, so That's a small nightmare for him.
See, Brian's too nice. Your wife, she'll tell you like it is, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I also make sure everyone to go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. I know Kevin's been working on some stuff, and I've got a new idea for probably like a semi-reoccurring sort of video bit that I'm sort of now starting to throw together, you know, in my head when I'm showering for, you know, an hour to a day, however long it fucking takes, because, you know.
Wait, what?
I got nothing else to. Yeah, I've been just I've been like turning the shower water on real hot and just like fucking chilling out for an hour, thinking about content that I can create. You know,
that's a little scary.
Nice. It's relaxing. It's scary.
I don't know. I'm just imagining you like just expressionless in the shower with the water boiling hot on your skin, and you're just like,
it's not like boiling.
You're standing there thinking about content.
Yeah, like what can I do to make Thought Cops better? You know,
I respect the hustle, man, but I don't want you to be. I don't want you to be turning into some kind of I don't know, some kind of podcast Frankenstein in there.
Well, that's my goal in life. So
it's a thin line between thinking and planning. So
yeah,
and plotting.
Right.
My man's plotting in the shower.
Hey, it could be worse.
Certainly could. Grant, I also want to say, too, you know, I want to promote your own content.
Oh, thank you.
Because people are stuck at home during this quarantine, and they're thinking to themselves, I'm getting all doughy here at home. I'm not able to work out at the gym. My gym's closed because people are so sick, and they're coughing on the machines.
Right.
But, Grant, you've gone ahead and made your own YouTube channel because, you know, you're a bit of a gym nut yourself. You made a YouTube channel with all kinds of cool workout stuff you could do at home.
Right. I would plug it. Unfortunately, YouTube has not allowed me to make an individualized URL yet. So you just have to go on and you have to search Grant Mooney. And it's the picture, the old-timey boxer dude with the mustache. That's how you know that you got the right channel. Also, at GM Fitness 312 on Instagram. So that's where I've been putting all my fitness stuff up.
Cool. You got some
anyone to check out.
Dieting tips, workout tips. Thought Cops go to Shrekfest. Oh, that's our channel. Sorry. And supercut of every time the Titanic song was played by the biggest problem in the universe.
Different guy.
Fair enough.
Different alter ego.
Another life.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. It was a whole other life ago.
It does feel like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A fantastic bit that got murdered.
Rest in peace.
Hey, you know what? We're here now. We're better than ever. Let's move right along to 2 minutes of hate. This is, of course, a very favorite, very famous segment on Thought Cops, where we like to blanket punish a lot of these things we see on the internet that, quite frankly, do tend to get under our skin and bother us. So, my 2 minutes of hate this week is the mugshot trend. It's this thing here. I'm going to Google this and see if I can find a good example. I mean, you could probably surmise this on your own here.
Is this somewhat related to like the mug shotties?
Yes.
I was just about to ask that.
Okay.
Yes, it is. There is a Twitter account called Mug Shotties, and it's just these women who get, it's for whatever reason, their mug shots are uploaded on Twitter, and it's just a collection of, what they look like. And I guess the joke is like how good their makeup was at the time of being arrested and whatever the case may be. So this is on Twitter and TikTok, I guess. It's the mugshot trend or the mugshot challenge.
I haven't heard of the mugshot challenge. Is this like people are going out trying to get arrested?
I don't know. I mean, I knew that there was just a thing where people were taking photos to look like mug shotties. I feel like such a fucking loser when I say that. Mug shotties? Like, I'm not doing the fucking affectation right. Like, no matter what I try, it's wrong.
I try to over white it, because I am already very white. I'm the whitest. I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm the whitest, but I'm pretty white. I'm pretty pale.
Grant, you're you're the whitest kid I know.
I don't have a comeback.
Maybe you could reference one. Maybe you could reference one of the classic sketches.
I was gonna say that you're one of my favorite kids in the hall, but that's a little on the nose.
That would have been great.
It wasn't. It felt better in my head than it did coming out of my mouth.
So if you do the mugshot challenge, I mean, needless to say, I think you should just be put in jail. Don't be doing this, I guess. That's what this article says on Vox. It says, this week in TikTok, maybe don't do the mugshot challenge. Okay. All right. Say no more. Go to jail. Don't pass.
At least hope some of them would be actual mug shots or mug shots, not so much, people just dressing up as good as they can. Like, I don't see the point, though.
Right. See, most of these, like in the image in the article here, it's like this girl with her makeup all done nice, but it's all like, it's kind of like streaming down her eyes a little bit, and then she's got a bloody nose, or at least, it's made to look like she does. But
it's like their argument, like, don't. Like, say it's like, oh, here's me getting domestically abused. Like, trying to say, hey, don't do that.
So far as I know, I mean, all I knew that people were just kind of doing this for clout or attention. It just was a trend on Twitter that I found annoying.
It sounds about right.
Yeah.
I mean, I follow that account. I follow the Mugshotties account.
It's a good account.
It's a good account.
Yes, it is.
But the problem is these people are, this is performance.
These phonies.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody look, it's a phony.
She wasn't really arrested.
Have you guys done a Family Guy video game video?
Not yet.
No, I thought about it, especially when that the one came out for the phone. I was like, ooh, but the problem is there's not as many as you would think. So it would really be like 2 or 3 games tops. So I was like, fuck. They just need to come out with a legit one.
Have you heard about the Family Guy MMO game that they had to get shut down because the user base was too stupid to figure it out?
No, I didn't hear about this at all.
Yeah, it was, let me look it up here. Family Guy.
I love that you, know this. This is a thing that, occupies
was this like that DBZ one that failed 5 years ago? With just with Family Guy on it?
This is Family Guy Online was shut down after discovering most players too stupid to play a game. Anyway, did you guys have a 2 minutes of hate? You guys can all get on it. You each got your moment of justice here. So whoever wants to go first.
Jim, I'll let you start.
All right, I'll go first. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard this game called Fortnite. It seems to be somewhat reasonably popular out there.
It's quite popular.
I hear a few kids play it now and then.
Right.
So there's a subset out there of people who just don't seem to like it. So as their big burn for it, they like to call it fork knife. And so anytime they tweet or anytime they write anything about it, they go, oh man, I would never spend my time playing fork knife.
That's brutal.
I'm just like, this is the deepest burn I've ever heard. And it's a thing that I've been seeing for about 2 or 3 years now. And it's a thing where it's the kind of thing I think, oh, this is going to go away eventually. And then every once in a while, some guy comes back and it's just like 1,000 post thread. And I just
but Jim, it's so funny because it's a play on words.
Oh, it's incredible. So, I mean, I think it just comes down. I'm jealous I can't be that creative. So I guess if I had to do a punishment for just like it's, I think anytime someone says fork knife, you should be hit in the balls with a butter knife. I think that's the only way to make it fair.
That's pretty good.
And so it is done.
You get hit in the balls with a fork and then a knife, so that you have to do 2. It has to be a double. You got to do both.
That's smart. I didn't even think about the fork part.
Anything to anything to make the punishment more severe, more cruel, more unusual.
We recommend it.
That's what it's all about. We didn't even have to go to the wheel either.
True. Grant, how do you feel there along with that wheel?
Right now, as I'm doing the show, not too bad, but I'll take like a stupid Instagram video and there will be just a random spinning wheel, behind me at any given point during the day. And it's pretty weird that that's just a fixture in my apartment now, that I just have a game show wheel just sitting on my desk.
You could do worse.
It's a sissy fist boulder.
I mean, it's not like you're having company over you have to explain it to, just you and the wheel.
Well, I don't now, but I do have people over every once in a while, and they're like,
well,
why
no,
do you have
I know. I'm not saying in general.
wheel?
I'm just, given the circumstances,
right now.
you're not supposed to. I don't know if you are.
Yeah, that's one positive, I guess, I can, consider in my fucking self-containment.
You're not worried about the internet shame by mentioning that you've had people over your place?
I mean,
that you've dared to interact?
Shame? I don't know what you mean by shame.
Yeah, man.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what you're talking about.
So, Brian, did you have a 2 minutes of hate you want to get off your chest?
I did, and it's an interesting one. I ran by
Go ahead,
Jim.
Brian.
All right, so during this pandemic, you guys might have seen there's a lot of people deciding there's weird ways to make money and do what they can to just make a little extra on the side. What I found from our Instagram and our Twitter is that there is a huge number of just regular run-of-the-mill girls you would know that decide to open an OnlyFans. And
which girls that I know?
I mean, you could probably just look at your friends list, and I'm going to say there's a 20% number in there that's probably just like, hey, I could just go ahead and do this. And
that's probably right, yeah.
All these things are coming out. Like, what was it? Pornhub is offering free shit to like the world or to Italy. I know I'm fucking this story up, but like these people, and not trying to judge anyone, they're not exactly tens. And you look at their pricing structure, and all of a sudden they're offering $20, $30, $40 a month for their OnlyFans. And I'm like, the balls on these people. It's like, it took a pandemic to realize you just wanted to whore yourself out to make a few extra bucks. Like, couldn't you just do it before or whatever?
Yeah.
So I'm just finding that very odd, that the sheer number. I'm definitely not angry about it. I'm just like, yo, do what you got to do. But it's weird that this is the time you're trying to capitalize on that. So I would say as punishment, you just got to send out some free samples to everyone on your friends list before you do that.
Right. It's like Sam's Club, you're grocery shopping on OnlyFans. You want to see what's going on. You got to have someone handing out free samples in a little cup. Some peaches.
I need to know what the fucking orange chicken tastes like before I buy it. So
exactly.
Give me a taste.
Yeah, give me a taste, baby.
Then you go in the chat, says when she got that Sam's Club pussy.
Buy it in bulk.
Grant, what do you got for us this week?
All right. Well, speaking of the state of the world right now and the self-quarantine that we're all in, or as IONet Runner wants to point out, it's social distancing. It's not quarantine because we don't have the disease. We're just separated from everyone else. So, it's like I said, the first couple of weeks was hard, and then it sort of levels off into like, well, this is the new normal, But then even the new normal becomes like, I feel like I've gotten to this fucking shades of gray point where even like the shit that I'm doing that's normal like isn't even there's only so many shows I can watch on Netflix. There's only so many hours worth of video games I can play. There's only so much time I can fucking kill before it's just like, okay, this sucks. Like, yeah, you know what sucks? Work. But at the very least, it's like, well, you got to do it. I don't have to do anything. So the very idea of entertainment right now is completely unappealing to me. And the more unappealing it becomes, the more I just want to do things that are like stupid. Like,
Speaking
I'll give you
that really quick, Grant. I just want to say, I think right now America needs more than ever a Bernie stream.
Oh, well,
especially now.
I've been having issues with the Twitch channel and with this computer. I don't know why.
What does that have to do with Bernie?
Because he uses this computer.
Oh, right. I forget he comes over.
Right. Yeah, my grandpa.
Yeah.
He's been having some issues with the computer, but yeah, nonetheless. So entertainment has just become it's like you can entertain yourself to death, right? But at the same time, it's addictive because you got to be entertained. Like what what else can I fucking do? I've been going running every day, you know, like that takes up half an hour.
That's good though, you know. A lot of people are not doing that at all.
Yeah, but then, you know, that's half an hour out of, 24 hours. Like, yeah, I can sleep like half the day if I want to. I can sit and watch TV if I want to, but it's like after so long you hit this point of like satiation where it's like nothing will ever be good enough. So you start resorting to weird measures. Like, for instance, one thing that I've been playing recently, and it's not a good game and you shouldn't play it, but I've been playing a lot of Cookie Clicker.
Oh yeah, remember Ron from Big Sword Panel?
Yeah,
he got me into that a while back.
It's the point of the game is that it's very stupid. You click the cookie and then you create more things that click the cookie for you, and then you have trillions of cookies on this like flash game, and it's completely stupid. It's completely monotonous. It's depressing to think that I'm playing it at all right now. Another couple things, like I'll open up like Pokemon Go on my phone and just be like, hey, is this any better? And I'll open it up and I'll be like, no, and I'll close out. But then I still gotta flip the fucking sign to get like the Pokeballs, and if there's an Eevee outside my window, like, yeah, I'll throw a ball at it or whatever. But it's like, this sucks. Or like the Super Mario app on my phone, it's like I'll open that up and it's not fun and it's not depressing, but I'm almost doing these things more than I'm playing like, my Switch, because it's like, oh, well, I gotta pick it up and I've played 6 hours of Switch, I gotta do something else. So what do? I sit and watch Ozark and I play fucking Cookie Clicker. Like, it's depressing, it sucks, I hate it, I want to go back to work.
And that's the thing, man. It's like when you're working all the time, it's like, oh, I wish I had enough time to get through all this content I have to consume.
Right.
And then you get all that time by being unemployed.
Right.
And I've been there before, and it's not fun.
No, it's the opposite of fun. It's like, yeah, I don't know. It's nothing I haven't already said within the past 5 minutes.
You need a distraction from your distractions. That's the point we're going to.
It's like I'm getting entertained to death. Like, that's really it. I have nothing in my day except a little exercise, a little like cooking and eating, sleeping nearly half the day, and then just how the fuck can I entertain myself? And it's too much entertainment. I hate it.
Grant, I will say it sounds like that game is infinitely better than a game Jim decided to play and actually spend a lot of time with, which was watching flowers grow.
That's the game.
Wait.
Yeah, it's called Flower.
Oh, hey, Flower's a good game. Screw you.
And Jim paid for it, so at least you didn't pay for your game.
Right. Cookie Clicker is free online. That's all do you do anything? Is there is there leveling? Do you do anything, or is that literally just it? Is it like a screensaver?
It's on the PS3, and you start off as a single pedal, and it uses, like, you only control it using the 6-axis motion on the PS3.
Right.
And then you have to control the wind to make bigger flowers to bring light and happiness back to the world. It sounds a lot worse when it comes out of your mouth.
Is there at least a level of satisfaction with it?
It only lasts 2 hours, so I guess finishing it is satisfaction.
Fair enough.
I got through this.
How much you pay for that, Jim?
It came with a bundle. I think I paid $10 for 5 games. That was one of them.
Oh, that's not too bad.
That's $2.
Look, it's not like the hundreds of dollars I've spent on the CDI or anything like that, which I've also done because I have a problem.
All right. Well, my punishment for this entertainment to death is eventually I'm just going to crack and I'm going to go around and I'm going to be one of those people that just starts licking doorknobs just to find some form of sadistic pleasure in my life, which is at least I get to go to a hospital and I get to worry about something that's outside of myself. I get to worry about my own health and my own sort of materialist well-being, as opposed to sitting here wondering oh, what do I watch after I watch, Happy Season 2? What do I watch now? And it's who the fuck cares? And it's what if I just go get the fucking virus, You
get to meet new people.
Yeah. Meet some doctors, talk to people. I don't have to be in social isolation anymore. Yeah, I get to get out of the house.
That's great, man.
Get to take a ride in an ambulance. It sounds like fun, to be honest.
It's a way to kill the monotony, too.
Hey, speaking of fun, speaking of killing monotony, If you haven't listened to Thought Cops before, every week we investigate the internet's outrage-inducing news stories, and then we sentence each perpetrator to a cruel and often quite unusual punishment. So let's talk about this, boys. We talk games here. You guys run a gaming YouTube channel. There was an article that came out this week from mirror.co.uk. The headline reads, "Terrifying model shows what avid gamers could look like in just 20 years." Now, this is researchers from OnlineCasino.ca. Let me just
sounds like research. Got my interest.
Yeah, let that sink in for a second before I continue here.
Seems legit.
Researchers from OnlineCasino.ca have predicted what avid gamers could look like in just 20 years if they don't change their habits. I'm going to go ahead and just copy the image here in the podcast chat so you guys can see this. It's this guy with a very, very doughy midsection, and his t-shirt says "Future Gamer." He appears to be made of the same material Gumby's made out of.
He's like a Wallace and Gromit character.
He is,
except more terrifying.
I love to see this guy in those troublesome robotic pants that was from the Wallace and Gromit movie I'm talking about. Right. So this guy, he's got his hairline's all fucked up. His hair, his face is bruised for some reason. Like, he looks like he either can't breathe or he's been hit in the face by a 2x4, which, again, I'm not 100% sure where the gaming comes into effect there.
I like the forward-facing comb-over he's got going on, so you can see the bald spots poking through.
Right, yeah. I mean, he's owning it, though. You got to give him that much.
I like how if you put him in a lineup next to people of, like, a term of evolution, this is what, like, the gray aliens eventually look like from every, like, drawing and thing we've seen. Because he's, like, a little bit grayish.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have a shirt. His eyes, for some reason, got a little bigger. Like, what the fuck is going on?
So I want to elaborate here. So the researchers at OnlineCasino.ca have created this model who they've named Michael. To create Michael, the team looked at research reports looking into the physical effects of staying indoors and sitting in a chair while staring at a screen. The researchers explained the visualization shows that Michael has pale and pasty skin from years of being in artificial light and the result of a lack of vitamin D and B12. He has stress-related eczema across his legs and arms and has a permanently bent back from poor posture, and as well as bloodshot eyes from staring at a screen. The article goes into further detail. They talk about They go each part of his body. They said section 1, head.
He is the smallest penis you've ever seen.
I don't know if there's a penis section here, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does have a micro penis. Just to prove a point. So that this is his head has an indent in his skull due to consistent light pressure of wearing a gaming headset. That's crazy. You guys know that if you wear headphones too long, your head can get dented?
I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, it squeezes your brains out like a tube of toothpaste.
His hands. Unsurprisingly, years of gaming have had a detrimental effect on Michael's hands. They look like... actually looks like in a cartoon when somebody's hands get smashed underneath a building and they take them out and they're just like giant and flat, you know?
I like the grossly deformed thumbs there, too.
Yeah, from the fucking joysticks, of course.
Yeah, wouldn't they be like well formed because of all the gaming? Like if you have any musculature at all, it'd be like in your hands and your forearms, you know?
Actually, the funny thing here is the art. I'm gonna copy this image into the podcast chat as well. By the way, if you're listening and you don't donate to us on Patreon, patreon.com/thoughtcops, you can be hearing this live and hanging out with us in the live chat. We'll read your comments and concerns on air, and you can also look at what we're talking about. And you can also learn about a couple of new medical diagnoses, such as PlayStation thumb and Nintendo arthritis.
That's great.
Yeah, seriously, if you look at the article, those are medical diagnoses right there. You do not, let me tell you, you do not want to get PlayStation thumb. Why no Xbox elbow, I wonder?
Yeah, Xbox got off easy on this one. I like the stress-induced eczema around his belly button. I don't know why it's specifically centered there.
I thought that the future was going to be like the movie Ready Player One, and we were going to be a bunch of fucking hot tweens running around, taking over the world, winning treasure. No? Damn it.
No, we all just get a Mr. Burns Buddy Rich style hump.
Yeah, you'll be Mr. Burns with swollen ankles and Nintendo arthritis if you're not careful. Grant, this could be you if you keep playing Cookie Clicker.
No, I mean, I Cookie Clicker is not an involved game. I just sort of let it run throughout the day, and then I'd stand up and I click a cookie once, and then I'd sit back down. So it's not even a fun way to fucking waste time. The weird thing about this guy is I already know people that are basically kind of shaped like this, and it is freaky. It is terrifying.
Well, you guys, rest assured, the article does explain how to avoid looking like Michael.
Oh, thank God.
It's a 5-step plan. I'll outline for you right here. Anyone listening who plays...
Do you take hydrochloroquine, hydrochlorine...
Chlorinique or chlorinique?
Oh, it's actually quite a lot simpler. Step 1, exercise. Make sure you get up, you stretch, you move around. Step 2, evenly light the whole room. Step 3, follow a healthy diet. Step 4, sit properly and regularly stretch. It's also kind of in the first one, so it's more of a 4.5 list. And number 5, stay hydrated. It says to avoid fizzy drinks and drink lots and lots of water. Ionet Runner in the chat says, step 6, you could follow Grant's YouTube channel.
This is the stupidest fucking list. This is like, just move around, be a fucking human. Hey, don't eat Skittles, eat food, you dumb bitch. Don't drink Mountain Dew all the time, you fucking asshole. Drink water, you know, you're made of water. Drink fucking water, you fucking idiot. Get outside, get some sunlight, take a fucking vitamin D capsule. Don't fucking hunch your back, idiot.
Is anybody else surprised that he doesn't have Dorito dust on his palms?
A little bit. It's a missed opportunity, really.
Yeah, no chips, none of that bullshit.
Just like his hands are permanently like orange.
I love that even lighting in your room gets second billing over like drinking water.
Nico in the chat says Dorito dermatitis. Oh, disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, this is scary for me. You know, I play video games, and it's kind of like looking at the ghost of Christmas future. You know, the scepter and the black cloak showing me what I have to look at in my future if I don't change my ways. You know, it's not just games. Anyone, this could be if you sit around and read a book for too long, or if you sit around and if you're podcasting too long. This could happen to anybody.
This is what Joe Rogan's going to look like one day.
Yeah.
This is basically just a racist caricature. You know, let's face it.
Against gamer Americans?
Yeah, against gamer Americans. Yeah.
This is offensive. I don't like it, and I think that they should be punished for it.
I agree.
Here.
Jim, if that was you, he would need a dirty belly button.
Oh! Jim with the nasty-ass belly button. Jim, care to come back from that one?
That's, I got nothing. He pretty much hit me spot on there.
Wow.
I accept defeat on that there.
But there's still time to change. Don't end up like Michael.
I like that someone spent time to make Michael when the actually meme-looking guy already exists. And they're like, oh, this looks like this would probably fold up, but let's just do it a little bit better and a little more horrifying.
Yeah, it is horrifying. Grant, would you do me a favor and spin that old wheel for us and find out what the punishment here is going to be for dear old Michael, let's say, or at least the folks who created him. Michael's this is Michael's monster, let's say, and this is for Dr. Michael, the scientist who created him.
Paging Dr. Michael. You're not going to like this. The punishment is smoke the whole pack.
Oh boy.
Which means gotta play all the video. It's going to be worse than this is what's going to happen.
Now we're enablers.
Yeah. Not just enablers, but accelerationists.
It's going to be like the movie WALL-E, the Pixar movie.
except a lot worse looking.
We're all going to be morbidly obese, floating around a lazy river with the voice of Jeff Garland.
And robots doing all of our bidding for us, till we just become masses of goo.
So be it.
So it shall be.
Well, the will determined. The wheel says we're screwed.
So, moving right along here, all of us here, we're content creators, and I think, if I may speak for all of us here, I think that in light of these trying times, I think that we all kind of, see this as an opportunity to get more out there and, reach people more intimately, reach people, in ways that only we can, because all of the movies and television shows and everything are going to be on break because of the virus.
We are the content creators and we are the makers of dreams.
That's what I'm saying, man. But guess what? The establishment isn't going to let us fucking have it, because SNL is coming back this Saturday with SNL at Home. Now, I'm gonna put this in the podcast chat here. This is the whole crazy cast of the current season of SNL got together on a Zoom call, and they're going to be doing this is what you're looking at here. This is going to be up on television. A fucking
You mean that shit?
A Zoom
You mean
call.
that show's still going on?
This is where we're at?
Yeah.
Already? It
So-
took 3 weeks?
They're throwing the same amount of fucking money at this. The shit that we do for fucking peanuts. And they're taking it out of our fucking mouths.
Yeah.
Look at Michael Che there with this fucking American flag on the wall behind him looking at us like he knows. He doesn't give a fuck.
Oh, he definitely doesn't give a fuck. One of our Discordians, and I think just the regular Thought Cops channel, I think his name's Orgridon, brought up a point that I've made time and time again, which is like, do you remember when YouTube was started as a sort of alternative to regular media, and then all these, NBC and ABC and CBS and all these, large conglomerates, basically, payola'd YouTube to have all their shit shoved to the top of the algorithm. This is the same fucking thing. It's just like, yeah, like you were saying about, we do this type of shit for fucking peanuts, and these people who are already famous, like, based on these institutions that have been around for a long time, are doing the same shit that we're doing, sitting at home in their own fucking sweatpants and shit like that, in their mansions and whatever. And they're making millions and millions of dollars doing it, and I gotta fucking sit here and I gotta, do the same thing and file for unemployment.
Sit here and be thankful to hit like double digits finally on Patreon. Meanwhile, these guys do the exact same thing.
It's true.
And at least do a rotating thing. Give content creators like all of us maybe one night. Give us one primetime slot. Give us a chance.
So you saying you want to be on
Giving you a
SNL?
chance.
Shut up.
So yeah, needless to say, I haven't seen any. For the most part, I haven't seen a lot of people on Twitter who have been excited about this.
It's all been negative.
Most people are just
Pretty
saying
much.
things like "Shut the fuck up." Hasn't America suffered enough? All stuff like that. It's all
Right.
Actually, I want to give a quick shout out to one of our listeners who had a really good reply that got no love here in the comments. Shruggernaut said, "Chatterbait Night Live."
That is good.
That's good.
That is good.
Wait, one thing so when you sent us this link and I looked at the very first reply, this just tells you the quote unquote level of excitement. The only comment, the highlight comment, is from someone named Ocean Lee, who wrote, "We need this." I don't know why people are saying it's a bad thing. They just lift up our spirit. We need something positive. And if you click on his profile, he's got 4 followers, and you can understand why right away.
And his bio says SNL, Westworld, and Modern Family.
Yeah.
Jesus.
All right.
So that's what we're dealing with.
I think the funny thing is without all this production and shit, because all these like fucking all these TV shows and all these institutions that, you know, go into creating these TV shows, they're just giant fucking money pits. And the thing that I hope people notice more and more with this type of content that's being made from famous people who are, we're just like you, you know, yeah, sure, we have a multi-billion-dollar corporation backing us, is that everyone's going to realize that, like, oh, look, they're just as boring and stupid and talentless as basically everybody else with a YouTube channel. Because the only difference is they don't have a giant production team behind them anymore, and they're not wearing so much goddamn fucking makeup. And everyone's going to watch this shit and they're going to be like, oh, this is very bad. Like, oh, all that it takes in order for someone of, you know, mediocre talent is to have fucking makeup put on their face and bright lights and an audience to clap at everything that they say like they're fucking monkeys. Like, it's gonna, I really hope that it tears a lot of these fucking shows down. That's all that I hope.
It's been one of the few justices of like all the quarantine and isolation and social distancing is anytime a celebrity like has a breakdown on Twitter or like puts a sad face without makeup on there, they get torched. Like, there's no mercy for them. There's no feeling bad, and rightfully not. But just every time it's like this, oh, I'm just like you, I'm sad and I'm alone. It's like, no, fuck you. You're a millionaire and you can do whatever you want whenever you want.
Yeah.
So at least we've had that to cling on to.
Yeah. Really brings us together as a country.
And that's what it's all
Jim,
about.
I was going to say, but you could imagine they could all sing together a song.
Oh, they're going to.
Oh, that's going to be incredible.
They're going to.
Like that Imagine cover.
They're going to do like a parody, but it's like not even making fun of it. It's just it's meant to glorify it.
Like when Kate McKinnon played Hallelujah on SNL after Hillary had lost. You guys remember that?
I remember that. Oh God.
I remember watching that live, and I remember thinking like, oh, this is really funny. And then after like the first verse being like, oh, it's not a joke. Because that's like a funny, like, oh, Hillary lost and look, we're being all melodramatic about it. And then it kept going and it's like, no, this was never a joke and it's not funny.
And like they played 100% straight, didn't work. And then they're looking at the camera, you know, we're not going to stop fighting, whatever that last line was. And that's how they started the show. It was just, I don't know if it was supposed to be funny or they were being serious about it.
No,
I had no idea what was going on at the time.
They were being serious. How depressing.
So let's punish them. I think they should know what it's like to be us. You know, like you said, we're thankful to hit the double digits on Patreon. They should know that. You know, I say if they really want to play like this, if they really want to go ahead and do a fucking show on Zoom and screen share it on NBC, they should have to do the way we do. So, you know, with a Discord with some annoying guy who posts in there every single day called Big Guy. They should know how it feels.
Right.
You don't just get to do what we do. This is like, I'm just going to say it. This is like blackface.
This is blackface for YouTubers.
It really is.
I don't think they can put it any better.
They should have to
our culture.
They should have to like crowdfund this show.
Yes.
They should have to work with the same budget that we have to work with, which is the $25 extra a month I have for like my own spending.
Which is to say shoestring budget.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move right along here. Grant, what did you want to get to next?
Well, since we got a bunch of gamers in the house, I thought I'd bring in another thing that's a little more gaming related. You guys ever play this video game, Resident Evil 3?
I'm playing Resident Evil 2 right now. I was playing it right before.
Oh, so you think you're better than us?
Rob, 2 is better than 3. Sure.
Well, I don't know nothing about this, but what I do know about it is I guess it's getting a remake.
Yes.
And people are upset. They're upset about this remake. Why? Is it because the remake is bad, or it's not true to form? Or it's, clunky looking, or it's, they didn't do a good remake? No. It's because I guess the main character's name is Jill, or one of the characters' name is Jill, and she wears a skirt, and when she climbs around, you can see up her skirt. But in the remake, they changed her skirt into a skort, which means that you can't see up her fucking ass.
I can't see the outline of her vagina in the video game? What? They took that from me?
What the fuck?
Brian, return yours right now.
They took our cunts.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
I'm playing this right now, and I'll tell you, it's funny that you're mentioning this because I'm on my third playthrough of this shit, and I noticed it like really late. I was like, oh, number one, you can't even get this stupid ass costume until you unlock it, and then when you do, you're like, oh, okay, it's a pair of shorts or a skirt or whatever the fuck, and you're like, it's not a skirt. Okay, like it's such a stupid thing, but I love what you guys link to because I love the thread below it. Like, just like everything else, people get really mad when you change anything about a main character, and it's just fucking weird. That's why we're gonna turn into the fucking weird alien Michaels with bad eczema and dirty belly buttons.
Right. You see, Michael would love to see some pussy in his games, like we all would.
We need to pick me up.
Well, he's not getting sunlight or hydration, so what the fuck else is he
Well,
got?
maybe if he was getting some virtual pussy, he'd go out there and get some sun,
Well, that's
motivation.
That's the weird thing is that, like, pornography already exists. And it's not as though, like, yeah, if you want a game a certain way or whatever, right? Blah, blah, blah. But, like, if you're this fucking thirsty, like, put down the controller, go to Pornhub, and then look at that. What's wrong with that?
So far as I can tell, I never played the original one on the PlayStation, but correct me if I'm wrong, but could you see up her skirt in the original one, or is the graphic fidelity not there?
I have no idea.
You couldn't see, they didn't do, like, it's not like you, it's fucking stupid to even, it's terrible polygon pixels.
Yeah.
You couldn't see shit then, and it's like, yeah, it's just so fucking.
That's the thing.
If anything, they've added more sex appeal by adding these more like scenes like this that you wouldn't have had back then.
Right.
You didn't have the level of close up like this.
That's the thing. Like back in the day, they could kind of cheese around it because the graphic fidelity, they could, she's wearing a skirt, but it's like, you can never get there because that's the way the game is designed. That's the level of power it had. Nowadays, they can't cheese around it like that because you can see everything with the detail that we work with now. And I don't know they would have gotten away with this, with the, what do you guys call it, a skort?
Yeah, the skort.
What's the difference between a skirt and a skort?
A skort is a skirt plus shorts.
Okay.
Middle fabric.
That makes sense.
Pussy curtains.
Pretty much.
Jesus. I do think that there's also something to be said about, like, some people's weird aversion to any level of sexuality. And I'm not talking about just, like, video games, but also, like, movies and stuff like that. Like,
yes.
I feel like that's maybe more an American thing because you'll see in a lot of European countries, they'll have, like, topless beaches or they'll have like boobs on television, but they don't do so much violence and they don't do so much fucking like egregious swearing and stuff like that. But they're just like, yeah, it's a human body. I don't know. So I get it from that angle, but at the same time, it's these fucking it's these Michaels that are fucking complaining about it. These goddamn Michaels.
Well, that's the thing. We're looking at the duality of Michael here because there are two kinds of Michaels. Okay. There's the one Michael who is upset that he can't get a boner when playing the new Resident Evil video game.
Right.
And then you have the other Michael who is like, this other Michael sees a picture of fan art of a female character who's maybe drawn with big boobs and a thin waist and commenting, "Where are her organs?"
Oh, God, those people.
The other Michael who's a champion of the people, you know what I mean?
Right.
He's a gamer, but he's also a hero.
Or like every single comic book cover that's come out in the last 10 years. That's not a real position that a person can do. It's like, okay.
Right.
They can't fly either.
And that's the thing is, like you said, this is almost an American thing because, like, these are Japanese video games. We talked about this before with the Final Fantasy VII remake. And they know that these games, a big market of theirs is America, so they do have to research the sensibilities here. And there's, tons and tons of people who are always like, Japan needs to do better. When they're referencing their character designs, because Japan.
I sure do love talking down to minorities. That's my favorite thing to do.
I love to log on in the toilet and do,
and to do it for them too. You're doing it for them.
Yeah,
that's what I do in the morning when I take my big morning beef in the toilet.
Well, I can't find it right now. I'm scrolling through some of these replies on Twitter, but one of them I think was the first reply that I saw, and this guy was super angry, and he was talking about that Capcom deserves like a class action lawsuit for false advertising because they put her in the skirt, and then once you look up her skirt, you don't see just her bare ass, I guess. And he said that's false advertising, and they need to get sued for it.
Can he afford a lawyer, I wonder? I don't know.
Do the Michaels of the future have regular currency, or is it all virtual currency? Do lawyers take virtual currency?
I believe some do take Bitcoin, sure.
Fair enough.
Was he mad about the realism? Because, in a zombie apocalypse, when are you going to have the time to put underwear on? It just doesn't make any sense at that point.
Exactly.
Hey, you just flip it inside out and you keep going.
He cleans up after a day. It's fine.
So let's just say here, the punishment. Are we punishing Capcom, or are we punishing the Michaels of the world?
They're both sort of at fault, because Capcom created the outrage, but then there's the reaction to the outrage. Is there a two birds, one stone scenario?
I got one. They just released the same old game from back in the day, because they're remaking the same thing. People are complaining, oh, it's not the same. Oh, it's too different. Fine, you know what? Here's the same fucking game. Play Resident Evil 3 again. She's still got a skirt on, or a skirt on, whatever the hell you call it. But you know what? Sorry, you guys ruined it. You fucking complain too much.
I think that's fair.
Make it be a new game for a new generation. Yeah. Only it's not.
Yeah.
I that seems fair to me. I think we got time for one more story here. I'm going to pull this up. So I feel like this is not the first time we've talked about this on the show, or at least this. We've definitely talked about this topic, but not this cartoon, maybe. So there was a DuckTales reboot. There's like a new DuckTales cartoon on Disney Channel or whatever.
Oh, I know where this is going.
And there's a gay couple in the new show. And let's just say the internet was going, woohoo! Just kidding, they were mad.
Whoa! Oh, okay.
So yeah, this is people. Some folks were upset about this. It's actually kind of funny. It's just these two men who were in a couple in the show. I guess they're some sort of birds, I suppose you could say, and they're both wearing shirts with arrows pointing at each other. It says, "I'm with Dad."
Typical dads with their stupid jokes.
Grant, we're looking at a gay rat wedding 2.0 here.
Oh God!
This is cataclysmic.
To bring people up to speed,
I know culture.
If you're not familiar, a couple, maybe half a year to a year back, there was the gay rat wedding.
Gay rat wedding.
Bam Blam on the TV show Arthur, if people remember. And then it caused the same amount of ire.
But I think with the Arthur one, it's almost like that was a lot more like legitimate outrage, where it's been like, I don't know, I only saw that one angry gamer dude or whoever it is do it, and then just people dunking on him.
So this is him again. It's one angry gamer is complaining about this DuckTales thing.
Is it the same guy that's complaining both times?
I think it might be.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So
I remember, like, Sebastian Gorka was
It is the same
angry.
guy. Real quick, it is the same guy.
It is?
Yeah,
Holy
because
shit.
he said, because there's a reply here, because somebody said, listen, bud, I'm all for keeping agendas out of kids' cartoons, but this seems like you're making a mountain out of a molehill. And he said, I'm guessing you said the same thing when the lesbian mothers appeared in Clifford, or when the gay rats appeared in Arthur, or maybe the gay wedding in Voltron, and I guess you'll keep ignoring it too. And yeah,
because we're adults?
Yeah, he linked to each article on the subject. So he wrote an article about the Clifford lesbians. He wrote an article about the gay rat wedding, and then he wrote an article about the gay robot wedding in Voltron. And it's like, buddy, Are you the angry cartoon watcher, or are you the angry gamer? Stick to being upset about squirts.
Well, I love
your priorities in order.
People like this. Those people like this.
Michaels.
Yes.
Ooh.
These Michaels.
That's a new slur. Though.
Yeah, Zwick, can you bleep out when I say Michael, please? These Michaels.
Yeah, if
I said the M word.
Yeah, we prefer gamer American, please.
This is the type of person to say, like, I'm not homophobic. I just hate that they're just trying to shove this SJW shit down our throats. And it's like, you look at this guy's track record of every article he's ever written has been like, why are there gay people in media?
There's gay people in Hollywood. Guys, did you know this?
Unbelievable.
That's insane.
They're trying to shove an agenda down my throat because they exist.
They're poisoning the children. That's the problem. We need to go back to those good old-fashioned values,
Right. I only want my children to be straight.
Hey, whatever happened when cartoons used to be about just diving into a big pile of gold?
Hey, whatever happened to when cartoons used to be about shoving your dick in a pussy, huh? Bring back those cartoons.
Wasn't there a cartoon that used to be called Wait Till Your Father Gets Home, which is about a family being completely terrified of their father? Let's go back to that.
Yeah, the good old days.
I just want my skunks to rape their women.
Wholesome.
Let's see them reboot Pepe Le Pew in today's modern society. Anyway, the punishment here is, I think everybody in Duckburg should be asexual, because if they don't want to shove an agenda down kids' throats, I don't think anybody should be straight either.
Right.
I want to go on record here. I don't want anybody in Duckburg to fuck. Anti-fuckburg.
Right.
Here in anti-fuckburg, anti-FuckTales.
You either got to go both extremes. Either no one fucks or everyone fucks.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that's really all that makes sense. I mean, it reminds me of the Red Letter Media takedown of the first 3 Star Wars prequels, and how they just kept pointing out, like, there's no sexual tension between some of these characters, and even when there is, their reason for not engaging in it is like, I can't. And you have this series of movies that just have no basic foundation for human relationships, which is to say, like, any form of sexuality at all, and it just makes them completely lackluster. And maybe people would just be happier if there was just no basic foundational human attraction that happened, like no moving the plot forward in terms of like what people's innate desires are or anything like that. Just make everybody not fuckable. And just see what that leaves you for every television show that's ever fucking existed. Just do that.
You just have to strip the humanity from, anything that a human would want to watch. That's what you got to do.
Exactly.
Like, the Dick Van...
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, like the Dick Van Dyke show, Dick Van Dyke and his wife are sleeping in separate beds and whatnot, and that's like a big thing, like... Oh, they can't sleep in the same bed on television. Well, Dick Van Dyke and his wife not even married anymore. In fact, the concept of marriage is completely abolished, and nobody has sex, and the entire all of humanity just dies out. How's that for a show?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's move right along here to our Thought Cops Key to the City. We'd like to shine a little light on something positive among these trying times, among these crazy times. Obviously, things can get a little wacky. So, my key to the city this week goes to Jewel Osco of Huntley, Illinois.
All right, we're live at the Huntley Jewel Osco showing our support during the COVID-19 virus. Are you guys ready? 1, a 2, a 3. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
what so proudly we
So it's 4 employees standing outside of a Jewel Osco.
Oh my god.
One is wearing a fedora and sunglasses, and no one is, or I think one person's wearing a mask.
Oh my god. Dude, the minimum wage needs to be raised to like $50 an hour.
And they're reading the lyrics off the paper too. Like, see that?
At least they're keeping time with each other.
They're not
Also,
keeping
smudge on the camera.
They're not keeping key though.
Oh, there's no key to be found. Oh, in the shopping cart. Drowning them out.
We're in this all together.
Jesus.
All right, well, the pandemic is over thanks to that awesome video.
Guys, we're safe. It's over.
Can someone please give those guys raises?
Thank you, Big.
Please.
Yeah, that video was called Showing Support, you know? We could all appreciate a little bit of that right now.
I feel supported.
All the doctors who are working right now just went up and went, yes.
Let's get to work, boys.
Thank you. See, now it's worth it.
Did you guys have keys to the city this week? Something positive you saw online?
All right, I'll go first. My key to the city is going to be the Twitter handle called JAV Titles.
Oh, I love this, yeah.
The actual Japanese porn video titles. So not only is it informative, but it gives you a little sight into the culture over there because you're not going to understand what you're reading. So you can learn and enjoy great titles like Why Not Try the Elder Sister in a Bikini with Big Tits to Use the Boob Wash 2? And also, How the Woman Whose Work and Appearance is Perfect Was Wearing Mismatched Underwear Actually Turned Me On Even More. So if you need a little pick-me-up during the course of the day, you really can't go wrong with this site. So it's got me through a lot of dark times lately.
It's beautiful.
All right. So I'm linking mine right now. I'm a simple man like Jim. It's kind of disturbing. We both went kind of similar ways. But I went with the Instagram follow of Hoppy Floppy, who, if you like big boobs and you like beers, then this is a perfect follow because that's all you're going to see on her Instagram. So follow along. You get to see a lot of interesting beers, but more importantly, you get to see boobs. So there you go.
Wonderful.
All right, and my key to the city this week, it has to go to Aaron Klopfer, friend of the show, multiple-time guest, Chicago comedian, at Aaron Klopfer on Twitter, and I don't know if that's his Instagram too or not, but at Aaron Klopfer has just been like churning out tons of just the most ridiculous videos that you've ever fucking seen before. One of them is him sucking his own dick, but like it's three of him, and one of him is sucking the other one of him's dick, and it's hilarious. And he keeps making these fucking videos. They're just fucking, I don't know, they're great. And every couple days he comes out with a new one, so check that out.
Following him right now.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Moving on to this week's Thought Cops Word of the Week. We have touched on this in a couple of recent episodes. This week's Thought Cops Word of the Week is Karen. Yes, it's
Kevin. You can't say that.
Things are getting a little spicy here.
At least take the hard N off.
Okay, Karen.
It's still not acceptable.
I shouldn't be saying it, but Karen is basically the "Can I speak to your manager?" woman.
It's the N-word for white women.
Yes,
It's the new N-word.
Yeah,
It took over for Boomer.
basically.
there's one every week, you know.
And now Michael's going to be it for gamers. So it's just, the natural cycle.
Exactly.
Everyone just really wants their own slur to be called. Just like, yeah, you can't call me that. It's the same as the N-word. As John Mulaney once said, if you're comparing the worstness of two different words and you're not saying one of the words, that's the worst word.
And it's always from like these groups that have never been oppressed before. So they're like, oh, finally, I might have a reason to do it. So I'm just going to hop onto this.
That was my favorite thing about billionaires and people of wealth and blue check marks.
I love it. I live for it.
Yeah.
So before we get to our final segment of the show, which is our listener voicemails, boys, plug it all. Where can we find you? Where can we find all your good content?
Jim, you're the king of this.
All right. So our main site, drinkabeerandplaygame.com, where you can find all of our beer reviews as well as links to some extra content that we don't get to put out onto YouTube. youtube.com/drinkabeerplaygameofficial, where you can see all of our video game reviews, our drinking games, our hardware reviews, and the video portion of the Power Hour podcast. And you can also find the Power Hour podcast on iTunes. So leave us, links and 5 stars, or, rip off Who Are These Podcasts, leave us a 5-star and bash us. We don't really care, just as long as you help out the page. And of course, we're on Patreon as well. So patreon.com/drinkabeerandplaygame.
Oh yeah, give those guys a follow. You guys put out some good stuff. You've always been good to us, so we appreciate it.
Yeah, and thank you guys for having us on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for dropping by finally.
Yeah, definitely glad we were able to do this.
Yeah, I know we've been trying to do this for a while now, so I'm glad we finally got to make it happen.
And Zwick whoring us in the chat like a good little boy. Thank you, Zwick.
It's his job.
Hey, Thought Cops, IO Netrunner here, and this week my 2 minutes of hate is the fact that nothing's really happening, so nothing has made me mad, so I don't really have anything to hate. Cool.
Great. That sounds like a net positive.
Yeah.
I hate his lack of hate.
I do too. That pissed me off.
Yeah. God damn it.
All right, guys, I just figured it out. So, you know how these late 20s, early 30s, or even girls my age, early 20s, I compare everything to Harry Potter, and Harry Potter is their number one thing.
Yes.
It's really annoying. You say, read another book. But, I figured out what the male equivalent of that is. And it's Family Guy. I'm sorry, guys. It's Family Guy. I don't make the rules. All right? You're just going to have to deal with that. Bye-bye, bitches.
Damn, he got us good.
Shit. Family Guy is the male equivalent of Harry Potter. That is 100% true.
Damn.
Yeah.
At least
Pretty spot on.
At least he didn't say seasons like 3 through 8 of The Simpsons, because that would have cut it a little closer to home. But yeah, it's
right. Like we reference Family Guy ironically, but we reference The Simpsons in earnest.
Yeah. Yeah, learn the difference.
Hey, Jeans, I'm calling in because I really like your podcast. I've been listening since the Witten episode. I just wanted to call in to give my 2 minutes of hate. Well, do you ever notice when you're walking down the hallway at school or the halls at the mall, whatever, you walk along and you notice someone staring at you? Yeah, I stare at them back, and I stare hard. Sometimes I'll stare until they look away. Sometimes we'll stare at each other dead on as we're walking by each other. And it doesn't matter who it is, I will always stare back, because who gives these people the right to stare at you? And there's a specific subcategory. Me and my girlfriend, we like to call them the cunties. They're the girls that you have class with, and they stare at you every single day. Yeah, these are the worst type of people, because they just don't get it. They want to stare at you, and, it's really annoying. Anyways, that's my 2 cents. That's my 2 minutes of hate. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, motherfuckers really be out here staring and shit.
I hate that.
But he's staring back, all right? He doesn't take that shit.
Does he got his wang dang hanging out? Like, why are they staring so hard?
That's what I want to know. Yeah,
maybe he just hasn't zipped up his zipper ever in his life.
Yeah, hey buddy, XYZ means I don't know what it stands for, but it means zip your zipper. Wait, that is what it stands for, but why the hell is it X?
Examine
your zipper. Okay.
Yeah. X as if the letter E doesn't exist.
Right.
That's a whole school of people going, dude, and him just not getting it for years on end.
Yeah. I mean, listen. I mean, if society were a little more accepting, I think it's probably fine to walk around with your pants unzipped, but we're not there yet. We're just not.
Right. If there are less gay people in DuckTales, but more unzipped pants, it would be a better world, obviously.
Exactly.
Fucking censorship with their skirts.
Hey, Thought Plops, it's your quarantine cutie Brandon Kirkman calling with some news. I saw you guys had Drink a Beer and Play a Game on. That's a pretty cool live stream. Big beer guy myself, so I'm curious, what are the boys' favorite beers? During this whole quarantine, I didn't stock up. We had to finally go get groceries, and I got a 12-pack of Half Acres Daisy Cutter. And drinking it made me feel like the most alcoholic to ever exist because that flavor, ooh boy, that hit good. Anyways, hope everybody's staying safe. Hope you're all quarantining. And most importantly, let's get that flush noise going. Ooh, that's got to be a good one. Love you, boys.
Not as loud, but audible this time. Audible.
Love a good flush on those, Brandon. Thank you. I'm drinking a Daisy Cutter right now, actually. And I've been enjoying that. I've been enjoying some Revolution IPAs, which are brewed here in Chicago. What about you guys? What are you drinking up on?
Go ahead, Jim.
Tonight, I've been going through a couple New Belgiums, so I have the Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA and the Mountain Time Premium Lager. And like New Belgium's basically pretty good. You're not going to go wrong there. And for Brandon's question, I guess my favorite would be the Dissonant by Duchette's, which is, it's like a whiskey barrel aged sour. And the problem for me is, like, we live in Philly and Duchette's is based out of the West Coast. So I'm very lucky if I ever see it in a store. So it's a kind of thing I only have like once every 2 or 3 years, if that. But Duchette's has never brought me wrong anyway. So if you can see any of their brands of beers, just pick it up and you won't be disappointed.
Real quick, what is your guys' opinion on Youngling or Yingling?
Yingling? Yeah. That to us, when it's kind of corny to say, but when you think the term lager in PA, that is what you think. Like, outside of your atypical Budweiser or whatever, that's the brand you go to. That's an easy party beer, and it's the best alternative to any American lagers you're going to have, especially near the East Coast.
Yeah, I mean, you go to a bar and you say, give me a lager, like, they just pour you a Yingling. It's not even a question about it.
Yeah, like in
especially
college,
us being Philly boys, it's like in our lungs, basically.
Yeah, we had like friends who would go out there and then like they would always come back with like cases of Yingling? I've been saying it wrong this whole time.
Young Link.
Yeah, it's Yingling.
Yingling.
It's funny for us to hear when people are like, oh yeah, we got that, we finally got that in our stores over here. And for like, because it's literally, the brewery's 30 miles outside of like downtown Philly. Mm-hmm. So for us to hear that it's like this like big import that finally came in is like always funny to us.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was one of those things where it's like outside of Philly, people are like, oh, it's so good. And then you get there and they probably think it's like, I wasn't sure if you guys...
no, we still love it here.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's the oldest brewery in America, so yeah, it's got its roots. But yeah, to answer that guy's question, thanks for being a fan. I'm going through about 5 completely different style beers because I'm cleaning out my fridge. So I'm not going to name all of them, but as far as my favorite beer, I'll probably go with something from Weyerbacher, which is a brewery in PA, and I'll choose their Sunday morning stout, which is it's a breakfast stout that comes in at like about 11%. It's really chocolatey, very strong, and it's just a very like, the best way I can describe it is it's thicker than most beers, but it drinks really smoothly for a beer that's that strong and that heavy. I love stouts, and that's one of the best I've ever had.
I got a couple different ones. I'll just boil it down to I'll just do the one, just like my favorite. If I were on death row, if I were in Death Row Records right now, and someone was like, "Hey, you want a beer? I'll buy anything." I think one of my go-tos is the Allagash Curio. You guys have had that?
I don't think so.
Yep.
I haven't had that one, but I like Allagash in general.
Yeah, it's one of their like bourbon barrel aged ones. It's like 11%. I don't know. I had it a while ago, and it's maybe one of my favorite ones. Like, that's not one that I grab from the grocery store every once in a while or whatever. That's like a special opportunity beer, special occasion.
It's funny to hear that because in Philly for the longest time we couldn't buy beer outside of a strict like beer distributor. So to hear like, oh, I went to a grocery store or gas station to buy beer, until like 3 years ago, that wasn't a thing here. And even now you can't buy like beer or liquor in the same store because we still have like Puritan Quaker laws from the 1700s.
Ridiculous.
hey, synth cops. You know what's really fucking dumb that people are doing? I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's like, here's a list of people you could pick to be in quarantine with, and it's always like some basic bitch shit like, live with Rihanna, and live with Chrissy Teigen, and John Legend, and some fucking asshole on some late night show, and it's never anyone interesting. Like, at least let me live with, like, Danny DeVito or Snoop Dogg or someone that can just give me, like, lots of drugs, frankly. Not fucking Chrissy Teigen or Ellen DeGeneres. That shit is so fucking lame. Ugh.
Yeah.
She's not wrong, though.
I saw one that was like...
Danny DeVito or Snoop Dogg.
Those are the two. I saw one that was like, which male actor for the Avengers would you like to hang out with? And it's like, none of them.
Consume!
Yeah, it's like, which one do you think would actually be interesting in real life? And you sit there and think, none. I would think none of them are interesting in real life.
And they're all rotten.
Actors in general are just people...
Maybe they're all dicks. Maybe they're not the heroes.
Yeah. Actors in general are just people that I want, like, nothing to do. Like, have you ever watched an interview with an actor, like, inside the actor's studio or something like that, and they're like, oh, how did you really get into this character? And they're like, oh, well, it's like the most boring derivative bullshit. Who the fuck cares what you do? You're pretending to be someone else. There's no fucking art to it. You're a bad person, and I hope that you never wear makeup again.
No, they spent so much time watching movies of other people act that they decided to act the way that they were acting to make it their own acting, to make it art.
Sucks.
Obviously, it's so much work to go through that.
It's bad. I watched a bunch of movies.
I watched a bunch of movies and I did what they did.
Hey, here's a better
prompt. And then I got lucky.
Which Thought Cops host would you want to be stranded with in quarantine?
Ooh, that is a good question.
I'm going to leave that up to the listeners to decide. We'll go out on that. Jim and Brian, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Oh, yes. Thank you, guys. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
No, I'd love to. That was a great time. Glad we finally got to be able to do this.
Absolutely. Definitely. Yeah, it was, like a long time coming. So, it was a good time. Thanks, everybody, for listening. If you feel like supporting the show, if you can, you can throw us a few bucks over at patreon.com/thoughtcops. Or you can always leave us a voicemail free. Give us a call, 312-788-7361. Or send us an audio file at thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com. We'll see you next time.